What's going on, everyone? It's the Fantasy Football Almanac, back at it with another fantasy football video. Today we are going to be talking about undervalued quarterbacks in Dynasty, but before we get into it, if you guys could, go down and give this video a like. I'm answering every single comment. If you guys have any questions, whether it be Dynasty, how to navigate free agency, anything, let me know down below, and subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on so you don't miss another video. With that though, guys, let's hop right into it with the first quarterback. The first guy I want to talk about is the quarterback 8 right now on Keep Trade Cut. It's Justin Fields. I think Justin Fields is a phenomenally undervalued quarterback, especially on Keep Trade Cut. I mean, what is he doing as a quarterback 8 right now? Considering he finished as quarterback 6 last year despite only playing 15 games and the quarterback 4 in points per game. I mean, this is a guy who can absolutely break fantasy football leagues, much in the way Jalen Hurts did last season with his crazy rushing ability. I mean, again, in only 15 games, he was able to have 1,143 yards and 8 touchdowns. Not only that, on 160 attempts, he led the league in yards per attempt with 7.1. And the even more mind-blowing thing is that he averaged 7.1 yards per attempt. There were only 5 total players who were able to average over 6 yards a carry, which puts this feat into an even crazier stratosphere. I mean, this is someone who can run all across the field, scramble in any formation that he needs to. And also, he was a quarterback 6 on the year despite only throwing 318 attempts. I mean, this year, Tom Brady threw for 733 total attempts, meaning he more than doubled Justin Fields' total attempts. Not only that, though, there were 4 quarterbacks who had more than double the amount of attempts Justin Fields had last year, and again, despite that, he was a quarterback 6. Now we bring in DJ Moore, a guy who is great for this offense. I mean, in my opinion, is a good wide receiver 1 for any team to have. A guy who had consistent 1,100-yard seasons despite having terrible quarterback play year after year after year. He also has Darnell Mooney, who's a great 2, and Chase Claypool, who I know gets a lot of hate, but is a fine wide receiver 3 at this point. Although they get rid of David Montgomery, they do bring in D'Onta Foreman, and I think D'Onta Foreman is a fine addition to this team because Justin Fields is not the quarterback to check it down at all. I mean, he's a guy who's going to take off instead of just checking it down to the running back like a Joe Burrow otherwise would. In my opinion, Justin Fields has the ability to break fantasy football. And again, right now he's coming off the board as the quarterback 8. In a one quarterback league, I would prefer him over Lamar, over Trevor Lawrence, or Justin Herbert, honestly. And I hate to say that, but the game-breaking ability that Justin Fields has in his rushing prowess is enough to make me want him super, super badly in a one-quarterback league. In 2 quarterback leagues, I would still love Justin Herbert, to be 100% honest, because he's young. He's 24 years old, a super, super young quarterback, just turned 24. And 2, while he might not be the most stable, this is a guy whose upside is the number 1 quarterback in fantasy football, despite the fact that he will probably only throw the ball 400-ish times this year. I think at the end of this year, he could easily be a top 4, top 3 quarterback. We just need to see the breakout, and this year he already broke out quite a bit. I mean, 17 touchdowns, 8 touchdowns on the ground, 25 total touchdowns. For a sophomore quarterback in a terrible offense, I think that is fine by me. But let me know down below, would you guys take Justin Fields over Lamar? Because I know a lot of people will probably disagree with me on that. I think on Underdog Fantasy right now, he is coming off as the quarterback 4, and that is absolutely fine by me. I can't fault them at all for that. But let's move on here to our next quarterback. And that is Tua Tagovailoa. Right now, Tua Tagovailoa is coming off as the 15th quarterback off the board, which I think kinda in a way makes sense because I think a lot of people are factoring in the fact that he had a lot of concussions this season, and they are a little worried about his health, which does make sense. I'm not going to lie, I don't know. I think it is hard to make bets on players like this with concussion protocol nowadays in the NFL. But at the same time, Tua for the next 3 years has access to Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. I think those 2 weapons alone already make him a valuable quarterback, both on Underdog Fantasy and Dynasty Fantasy Football. When you factor in, he also had 25 touchdowns and 8 picks in only 13 games. This is a guy who took a huge leap in his 3rd year from a middling NFL quarterback to a great NFL quarterback. Also led the Dolphins to playoffs, again, despite only playing 13 games. I don't really see how you could have him this low. I mean, personally, right now, I would rather have him over Kyler Murray. I know Kyler Murray's job is a bit more guaranteed, but at the same time, coming off a torn ACL, and his game is so much more reliant on the rushing ability, which he may lose after this torn ACL. And this whole year, in my opinion, is pretty much chalked for Kyler Murray. I would also rather have him over Dak in a vacuum, simply because the offense is much better, and Tua is also 4 years younger. I mean, both of these quarterbacks are good, but I would rather have Tua. Tua's got the age, Tua's got the team, Tua's got the pass-first offense. Tua has everything going in his favor right now compared to Zach. So I don't understand why he's going as low as he is. I think Tua is a good quarterback, and we saw it last year. That's why I think Tua is my second underrated quarterback. But let's move on to Anthony Richardson, who, yes, I know, has not played a single snap in the NFL. He is a rookie, completely unproven guy. But in fantasy, in my opinion, where most quarterbacks are putting up around the same amount of points, most quarterbacks are putting up anywhere between 16 and 19 points a game, but there are a few outliers like Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen, who consistently put up 22 to 25 points a game and have the ceiling to go for 30 plus. Those type of weeks for you at the quarterback position are game changing. And a lot of quarterbacks outside the top 5 or so don't have that ability to go for 30 points on any given week. Guys like Kirk Cousins do not have the ability to get 30 fantasy points maybe 1 week out of the season, but they're not getting 30 fantasy points with anywhere near a regular frequency as a guy like Lamar, as a guy like Pat Mahomes. I mean, it's just not going to happen. Anthony Richardson is the type of guy who can go out there and get 30. I mean, we saw his combine. He tested out athletically as the best quarterback ever to go to the combine, running a 4.43. We know he's got the speed. Not only that, he had the best vertical of all time for a quarterback, 40 and a half inches in the vertical, and the best broad jump, jumping 10 feet, 9 inches. A once-in-a-generation type of quarterback in terms of the athletic prowess that he has. Why not take a shot on a guy like that? Very, very athletic guy. Well, his college tape was very spotty. I think taking a shot on a guy like this who can provide you a 25 point per game fantasy football ceiling with 30 point, 40 point outings. Why not go after it? Especially in a one quarterback league where ceiling is all that matters. You could have a guy like Matt Stafford riding your bench, a guy like Kirk Cousins riding your bench, and have Anthony Richardson out there dropping 40 points, which is, again, what matters in fantasy football. In a two quarterback league, a little bit less so, again, but still, I think Anthony Richardson is such a phenomenal value in two quarterback leagues as well, going behind guys like CJ Stroud, going behind Bryce Young, despite the fact that he is getting top 5, maybe even number 1 overall pick buzz. I mean, right now, according to Vegas, he is plus 450 to go first overall in the draft. CJ Stroud minus 300, Bryce Young plus 300. So he easily could go number 1 in the draft. He easily could go top 5 in the draft. And that type of draft capital guarantees the job for Anthony Richardson for things to come. That's why I like Anthony Richardson. Although he has not played a snap in the NFL, I think it's worth the risk because the reward is the number 1 quarterback in fantasy football. The next guy I want to talk about is Jared Goff, and I think Jared Goff is much more valuable in 2 quarterback leagues than 1 quarterback leagues. He's somebody who's going to bring stability to your offense, but he also has decent upside to average about 19-20 fantasy points per game this upcoming season. I mean, last season, 29 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 4,400 yards, which put him 6th in yards on the season and 6th in total touchdowns. I mean, this is somebody who I think is in a really, really, really good offense. I mean, if you've watched this channel before, you know how much I like the Lions going into this next season. But he also has one of the best O-lines in football, Amon-Ra St. Brown. He has Jamison Williams coming back from injury to finally play. I mean, Jamison Williams only had 9 targets last year. But also, they have the 6th pick in the draft and the 18th pick in the draft. Not only that, they pick up David Montgomery. I think the 6th and the 18th pick, whatever they want to do with it, it doesn't matter. Their offense is already insane. And their defense is up and coming. I think the Lions are going to be super good. Again, I digress. Jared Goff is a great pickup because the system he's in is absolutely ridiculous. And not only that, he's only 28 years old, hasn't dealt with any crazy injuries in his career. I think Jared Goff is a value, a guy you'd prefer as your quarterback too. If I were to structure an ideal team, I would want somebody like Jalen Hurts as my QB1 and Jared Goff as my QB2, just because you have the very huge upside of Jalen Hurts with the stability of a guy like Jared Goff. You know Jared Goff's not going to retire anytime soon. You know Jared Goff's not getting benched anytime soon. I think he's the ideal QB2 to have in a super flex league and the ideal QB1 to have as a backup in a 1 quarterback league. Either way, I think he's a phenomenal player, and yet he's being valued below Kenny Pickett, a guy who had a pretty poor first NFL season, only throwing 7 touchdowns to 9 interceptions, and I do think Kenny Pickett showed promise personally, but not enough promise to be ranked over Jared Goff in my opinion personally. But also, he's ranked below somebody like Jordan Love, and Jordan Love also has not taken a snap in the NFL, and I hope Jordan Love's good. I like Jordan Love, great preseason, but we just don't know with Jordan Love. I would rather the stable piece here. Let me know what you guys think about that one down below, though. And let's move on to our last quarterback here, Daniel Jones. The last quarterback I want to talk about is Daniel Jones. I think Daniel Jones is a value. For one, Daniel Jones has the rushing upside to finish as the QB1 on any given week. Daniel Jones has the ability to win you a week, as we saw in week 17 against the Colts, where he dropped 36 fantasy points. And while, yes, his floor on any given week is low, due to the fact that he doesn't pass the ball that much, I think the rushing upside is enough for me to be excited about Daniel Jones. Furthermore, he just signed a 4-year deal, meaning that for the next 4 years, the team has made a commitment to him, meaning he will most likely be the starter. And at that point, I really, really like Daniel Jones as a QB2. I mean, he finished as a QB9 last year, which is a bottom tier QB1, and you're getting him as a QB2. I also really like him as a QB2 because it provides you with upside and stability at the quarterback position for your quarterback 2. Again, for your quarterback 1, you want upside, upside, upside. Guys like Lamar Jackson, guys like Anthony Richardson. But Daniel Jones as a QB2 provides you with upside, but also provides you with stability because of his rushing floor. Also, Daniel Jones is going to be going into the second year of this system under Dable. He gets Darren Waller as a weapon, which is pretty huge in my opinion. They also, as far as I can tell, are going to be targeting a wide receiver early on in this draft, whether that be the first or the second round. We are also getting Wan'Dale Robinson back, which I think will be pretty huge for Daniel Jones. That's why I do think he's an undervalued quarterback here for Dynasty Leagues. But let me know what you guys think down below. Do you guys think Daniel Jones, Anthony Richardson, Jared Goff, Tua, and Fields are undervalued? You think they're overvalued? Am I completely missing the boat? Let me know down below. I'd love to hear anything because I'm always open to changing my mind. I want what's best for you guys. I want the best fantasy football advice I could possibly give. And that's why I think being stubborn is just about the worst thing you could do in a field like this, because no one's right 100% of the time in fantasy football. That's why I'd love to hear what you guys think down below. Also, give this video a like if you don't mind, or a dislike if you think I'm totally off basis here, and subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on so you don't miss another video. But as always, guys, have a good day, a good night, and a good life.